talk about Derek Carr. I know a lot of Raider fans might be going through it because I don't think anybody thought this was going to be Derek Carr last year. I thought a lot of fans thought Derek Carr would have just a proven year, and then he'll also get one more year. And Derek Carr, he's been with the Raiders for 9 to 10 years now. He's been basically the heart of the franchise. When you think Raider, you think Derek Carr. Even though he's never been too great, he's never been consistent. Neither has the Raiders, but they always play with heart. And I felt like that's what Derek Carr kind of embraced with the Raider Nation. He brought it to Oakland. He tried to go to Las Vegas with it, but Las Vegas, they weren't able to, stay with that same passion, the same fan base that they have in Oakland. It's just not as strong. But that happens, right? When you move to a new stadium, I feel like, even with the Niners, when they first moved to Levi Stadium, wasn't as strong as it was in Candlestick. Maybe not as weak as it is with the Raiders, but they moved a lot further than the Niners did. But also with the Rams too, the Rams, they had a real strong fan base in St. Louis. And then they ended up moving out to Los Angeles, and the Rams, their fan base is not too strong. They won a Super Bowl, but even then, their fan base still isn't as big as we would want it, or that I would think it would be. And but
to be honest, I feel like my bad. I was going to answer your question real quick. I was going to say, to be honest, I feel like cities such as, and I've been hearing this a lot, like growing up, but I feel like cities such as Las Vegas, LA, when you got big cities like that, and when you got so many people from different, aspects of life and like different countries and different states coming together, even New York, your fan bases don't tend to be that great just because people don't tend to be that loyal to, to that one fan base. Now, when you in St. Louis, a small markets are always better fan bases because they're loyal. Even though Philly isn't a small market, but same thing. That's a football town.
I think mostly just because people are moving in and out of that. But Derek Carr, he gave his like goodbye speech for the Raiders, and he wasn't able to get this in person. And I feel like he deserved it. He's been, as for especially how long he's been on the team, I feel like he deserved to say how he really felt, and not over a text message, not on the online social media. But one thing I really thought that was kind of the hit heart, especially to a lot of Raider fans. Derek Carr, right here, he said, "I once said that if I'm not a Raider, I would rather be at home, and I meant that. But I never envisioned it ending in this way. The fire burning inside me to win a championship still rages, a fire no man can extinguish, only God. So I look forward to my new city and my new team. No matter the circumstances, we'll give everything I have. Winning a championship is what I've always wanted and what I will continue to work towards." So I know that probably hit a lot of Raider fans at home because, like I said, they never envisioned him leaving. He never envisioned himself leaving, especially not in this fashion, especially not what he gave all he gave to that team and organization. But how do you feel about that quote that I just read out? How do you feel Derek Carr feels, and how do you think about this situation?
Well, to be honest, I feel like the situation is just a little messed up, just based on, him being benched like the last 2 games of the season. But when I do kind of look at the situation too, when I see like I get it, when I'm a head coach, I kind of will want, a guy that I drafted, or I would want a guy that I brought in. And you see that Stidham was McDaniel's guy, and you see how he played really well. But so far as that message though for Carr, I feel like I feel like whether it was in person or whether it was through text or Twitter, it don't matter, man. He's done, and he's done with the Raiders. He has no more. Yeah, he has no more to give to them. He's done everything, man. Like, I mean, obviously he hasn't won a ring, but everybody knows the Raiders organization. Like, they're looked at as an organization that most people don't want to go to because their career is going to be ruined. We look at Randy Moss. He didn't have a great career with the Raiders. They thought his career was done. When you look at Jerry Rice, he went there. He didn't really have he went to Super Bowl, but stat-wise, his career wasn't like, yeah, that's true. But personally, people know that when the Raiders organization is kind of, you feel me? So anyway, I feel like Derek Carr, he definitely needs a different change of scenery, though. It's about time. He's been there for 9 years, almost a decade. But I feel like wherever he goes, he's gonna do really well there. I will hope so. A couple of teams I would kind of just off the top of my head, kind of maybe see him going to, maybe Carolina, maybe New York.
That's what I was going to ask.
Maybe the New York Jets.
I was going to ask you, give me your top 3 spots that you can see Derek Carr landing.
Okay, so I go Carolina, I say I don't want to put the New York Jets in my top three. I would put them kind of like an asterisk on the side of them, just because it's just kind of hit or miss. I feel like for some reason they love Mike White. For some reason, I feel like they try to bring him back and then draft a quarterback or some dumb shit. And then they also believe in Zach Wilson still. So, but anyway, I say Carolina for Derek Carr. Maybe even Indianapolis. That rings that could be good for him. He has a nice running game. And then I'm trying to think of my other team that I can think of. I feel like Taylor Heineke is good for the Commanders, but knowing the Commanders organization, they're so shitty, they might not bring Taylor Heineke back. I think maybe Derek Carr would be good with the Commanders. Maybe they got good receivers. They have very good young receivers. You got Terry McLaurin, got Jahan Dotson. You got my boy Curtis Samuel. You got weapons. You got a good defense. So maybe Commanders, bro. Commanders is only a quarterback away from winning. So maybe Minnesota. Maybe Minnesota done with Kirk. Shit, maybe they fed up with Kirk.
I wouldn't say that just because off the season he's having, he bought out. But my number one team, I'll probably say is probably the Saints as being my number one team. I love to see him with the Saints.
Number I didn't think about Saints. I don't know why.
Yeah, and then number two, I think I'd like to see him with Washington. Like you said, I think Washington would be a great fit. They already got something going. They really just need a quarterback. And I think Derek Carr is a perfect fit with them. They got a nice running back core. And lastly, maybe even Seattle might make a call. Seattle might try to get. I feel like they're a quarterback away also. You know, they're not too far from it. Not a quarterback away, but a couple pieces and a quarterback away from being contenders like they've been for the last couple of years. And I want to bring up, so reporting time is at the essence, which is why the Raiders are starting now. There is a firm deadline at February 15th. At that point, Carr's $40.4 million salary over the next 2 seasons becomes fully guaranteed. Any decision on a possible trade would come before then. But I really can't see a team wanting to pay $40 million for Derek Carr. I don't feel like he's deserved that money. I don't feel like he's earned that money. It might be a real desperate team, but when Lamar Jackson's on the table also, and you might want to wait it out, it's like if I'm gonna pay a quarterback that type of money, I'd rather as well wait to see if I can get Lamar than get that all to Derek Carr. If y'all really don't want him, go ahead and cut him and figure it out, or he's gonna have to take a pay cut because I'm not giving Derek Carr $40 million.
Hey man, I didn't even think about that. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I wouldn't mind seeing that. I wouldn't mind seeing Lamar Jackson in Vegas with the Raiders. I ain't gonna cap, bro. Lamar with Devontae, that's savagery. But that's savagery, bro. But I don't know how McDaniels. I feel like McDaniels never had a quarterback like Lamar, and he's never really had a mobile guy. So I don't know how he would do. Like I don't know how he would draw plays for Lamar.
I don't think
that's with the Vegas Raiders.
That's a set. Yeah, and that's a setup for failure. That's a setup for Lamar to be bashed and his career being ruined and he receiving all the blame. And I can already see like him going to Las Vegas is a setup for him. Fuck that. Go to I don't know Lamar, but don't go to the Raiders. I don't want to see that, bro. I want to see Aaron Rodgers with the Raiders, somebody that can handle that. I'm not saying Lamar can't handle it, but I just feel like that's a whole bunch of unnecessary pressure to put on his top of his shoulders.